Hey welcome to Zville Lessons for Live channel. My name is Xander Villain, and this is lesson 15 in our beginner guitar lesson series. As usual, we're going to go over the materials we've been working on for the last few lessons and keep expanding upon that. We're also going to open up some more chord progression type stuff and also keep working on the pentatonic scale. Thanks for watching. Let's get into this. Hey, welcome to lesson 15 in our beginner guitar lesson series. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. So, we were talking about moving chords up the neck in the last lesson, and we were also talking about all the different variations of the D chord, such as the D major, the D minor, the D sus2, the D sus4, the D7, doing variations on all of these different things that work within the D chord and how cool that chord is. So what we were doing to expand upon that was I was telling you to go ahead and go up the neck. And the first thing we were working on was going up that. We were talking about that for the last few lessons, which is complementary notes to the open string. So we're working on an open D. It works for the E, 6th string, A, 5th string, and D, 4th string. When you're doing your power chord or blues patterns, you can keep going with complementary notes to the chord, which for all of these happen to be the same, which is 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12. And then it repeats after 12 because you're starting the scale over. It changed during the B, where the B, because of the offset tuning, you had to go from, instead of 2, 4, 5, you started on 3, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 13. And then you can start over and keep going up the neck, and then back with your E chord and your B chord, since they're in tune together, just like these four are one set, these two are their own set in their own tuning. You back to 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. See that? So what we started doing is we took that D chord and we worked up the neck based on using an open D as part of it. See how the D works? You're using your index finger to find where to go by doing that same thing, 2, 4, 5, see that? 2, 4, 5, there, and that's part of your D chord. But that's not the actual note that determines the D chord. Here's your D. It's done with on the B string with your ring finger in the D position. So if you're going to go up and you want to find out what chord you're actually in, you use this one. So there's your D, there's your E, there's your F, there's your G, there's your A. Hear that? Here's your G. You can do that. See how that works if I take that finger off? It doesn't work so much there. So there's your A, there's your B, there's your C, and once again, there's your D, just like it would be here. It's just one octave up, right? So, and you use your middle finger for that. One of the other things we touched on was this. That's the top end of your major barred chord, right? You've got your A barred chord. It's 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. If you just take the top end, 6, 5, 5. And you can move that around the neck, and that's easy to find because it's going to be the same thing as finding your root note on your 6th string. You're going to find your root note on your 1st string, which is the same as your 6th. This is an A, this is an A. And if you're just doing this, the bottom 3 strings, 3, 2, and 1, that's the top end of your chord, right? We know that's a G because there's your G, A, B, C, D, and E, F sharp, G. So there you go. That's your cheater chord on your G. We talked about doing that See how it doesn't really work? But if you take that, there's a ton of songs that use this. Pink Floyd. But what we were talking about Give a Little Bit by Supertramp. One of the things they do is they go... That was the same progression, just in a different place. D to the G to the A to the G to the D. D to the G to the A to the D, G to the D, right? So this is the same as this, just a little bit different voicing. Because there's your A, there's your G, top end of your major chord, and this is your D position on your A and your G. You're basing it there. And a quick way to find that out, by the way, guys, is you can do this. Go up to your first string instead of your second. If you're ever wondering, where am I? What chord am I playing here with my D pattern? Take that, find that corresponding note. It's not that one, it's not that one, it's that one. Now you know you're in your G, right? So that's a little trick there. You can also octavate up to it. G, 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 and there you go. That's another way to do it. We were working on 7th chords based out of your 5th fret. There's another one that's easy to find, and it's a really cool chord, and it's used in a ton of songs, especially the B right here. They call it the Jimi Hendrix chord because I think it's Purple Haze right here. You can use it on the E position you can use your open string there. It's the only one you can do that with. You can put your pinky in to fill it up. That's the full 7th chord. By the way, there are multiple ways to achieve a 7th chord. This is just one of them. But you don't have to put the pinky in. A lot of times I won't. Just these 3 strings, 5, 4, and 3. It's easy to find this because your middle finger is on the root. The root note is based on your 5th string. So there's your D, there's your E, C, your B, right? That's kind of the last one. You can do a B flat or A sharp, I guess, you know, by doing that and holding the D string, the 4th string open. But you don't do that much, you know. You might do that here, but... So we're working on that, and then we were working on the 5th position of the minor pentatonic scale. We were working out of A. First position, 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. 4th position, 1 4 1 4 1 3 1 3 2 4 1 4. And that's same with down here. Open 4, open 4, open 3, open 3, 2 4, open 4. So the one that's in between these, 1st and 4th, is your 5th. So there's 1 through 5 as far as positions for the scale goes. And this one takes the top end of the 4th position, 4 4 3 3 4 4, as far as the scale goes, not as far as the frets go. All right, that's the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret, but this would be the 4th, 3rd, 4th, 4th when you're using an opener, calling your open the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. See that? And then the bottom part of your 1st position, which is all done on the 5th fret for the A 1st position, minor pentatonic scale. So you can go, this one would be considered 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. See, I'm using the top end of this, the bottom end of the 1st position, the top end of the 4th position, right here, 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 and here, and then I'm doing this. There's your 5th position, and we're working that in so you can work up scales. So let's go ahead and get into this lesson now. what we're going to do here is we're going to continue working on the pentatonic scale to start with. A lot of artists use that fifth position a lot, as well as the first and the fourth. I've told you that I like the fourth position as the second most important position, just because it's easy to find it. Because when you're playing, you just, unless you got a really, really good memory and you've been playing a long time, it's hard to remember exactly where the next pattern is, especially the third pattern. The second pattern is relatively easy to find as well, because it's just after this one. 2 4 1 4 1 4 1 3 2 4 2 4. But let's not get into that yet. But the reason I think the fourth one is such an important one is you can find it so easy by being able to find your A root note. There's your first position. There's your secondary A note on your fifth string, and that's your fourth position. What most guitarists do is they don't memorize every inch of every position. They do, but it's not that important, because what you're doing is you're working up and down the scaling, such as if this is your A and you want to play a lead, a lot of times you'll just do. So I'm going to call out what position I'm in as I climb. Fifth position, first, second, third, and into the fourth. Back down to the fifth position, down to the fourth position in the low point rather than the high point, right? So that's moving up and down the scale, and we were working on that a little bit. But we were working on the A note, and I was using the starting way down on the open string so you could climb out. That's what we were kind of working on. So hopefully you guys have been working on that, and we'll continue to work on that. And I told you not to do the same thing every time, kind of try to change it. So you go 1. Now that one went into the second scale, which we haven't really talked about yet. And we are going to talk about that in a minute. But once again, first position, most important. Fourth position, second most important. Fifth position, because it's in between the two. Third most important, and then the second one is the next one that you use a lot. So let's talk about that. You've probably downloaded and know about your pentatonic scales already because you've downloaded a chart offline. It goes, I just showed you this, but it goes 2 4 1 4 1 4 1 3 2 4 2 4. You're using the top end of your first scale, which is, right? I'll say frets here. So this is 8th, 7th, 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 8th, and 8th. So that is, and then you're using what would be the bottom of your third position to get the top of the second position. Hopefully you understand that. These are all linked together. If this is the first position, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. If this is the second position, the bottom of the second position is the top. Same notes as the top of the first position. Got that? So that's how they all link together, and that's why you can climb up through the scales like that. That's all out of A, by the way. This changes if you go to B. This is now your first position. I'm doing all downstrokes right now, guys, too, and we'll get into that more a little bit later in this lesson as well. But so that's what I want you to work on next, is keep working on this one. We're back to the A position, and now add the second position. I'll call that out again. 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. And now here's where the fun of linking them together comes in. See that? What you get is, if this is your first position, right here, right, you've got these two together. And I talked about this on that Mary Jane's Last Dance lead. Instead of doing this, which is part of the actual scale, the bass notes of the scale, they're secondary notes in the scale, right? This is there. It's also up here, right here. On the fourth position, it's here. See how you got that? You also got this. Right? It's right there. It's right here. It's right here. So you get these cool pieces in the scale that allow you to do what they call double stop. That was all kind of double stop playing right there. I'm hitting 2. Now that's the notes of the scale. Then I go down here. So you start looking for these things. When you're going up, here's your second position, right? 2, 4, 1, 4. Right there, those two are together. These two are together. These two are together. These two are together. These two are together. On the top end, you got these two. Then you got these two. Then you got these two. Then you got these two. And these two. So 6 and 5, 6 and 5. 6 and 5, 5 and 4, 4 and 3. Right there. 4 and 3. 3 and 2. 2 and 1. So all these things work together. See how you can come up with like really cool out of the box leads rather than all your leads being right? Something like that. There's the scale. That was my first position with a little tiny bit of the second position. Now you can do this. Because I'm using the top end of the first position and the middle and the top of the second position. Those are those second string, fourth, 2, third string, 3 and 1. So 4, 2, 3, 1. 4, 2, 3, 1. If this is 1, this is 4. So you can do double stops and shuffles. Okay, so I want you to work on that. I want you to work on position number 2. Keep working on position number 4. Tie them together with position number 5. And start working on just like, okay, here's my position number 1. All of these notes are in position number 1 on the 5th fret, always. This happens to be A. If we were playing a song out of C, there's where your first position would be. Oops. All of them would be on the 8th fret, right? So there's your double stops. You just use that same fret. Let's go back to the 5th for A and just hit 2 strings at a time. 1 and 2. 2 and 3. 3 and 4. 4 and 5. 5 and 6. play around with that. Have fun with that. That's how songs are written right there. Now that plays into what we were talking about with that moving that D up. Here's the D, E, F, G, and A, right? Get up here to the A, and it's not exact because this is the oddball, but there's your A, there's part of your second scale, right? There it is. We were just talking about 1, 3, 2, 4. There's 1, 3, 2, 4. There's that. Well, there's your A in that D position. D, E, F, G, and A. There's part of your scale built into that. Same with this. Remember, this is the top of your major chord. We were talking about this is your G, this is your A, this is your B. Well, this is your oddball now. Just like this was your oddball here. This is your oddball, but this is part of your scale. So I want you to get that into your head and just play around with it, you know, like, okay, here's the top of that there. So that's a complementary note. It's kind of adding remember this is a minor pentatonic scale. Your A major is, I'm not going to get into it right now, but your A major is slightly offset. And see that? That's part of your A major pentatonic scale. So what you're doing now is you're starting to combine by doing this while you're playing an that's an A major. Here's an A minor, right? What you're doing now is you're combining a little bit of the major and minor pentatonic scales. Oops, sorry. By adding this note, it gives it a weird vibe. You can do that in a song that is requiring an A minor pentatonic scale, which is what we're learning. You can add that note, which is part of your A major scale, that thing we're talking about moving up and down the neck. So that sounded confusing, but go ahead and keep working on that. I want to touch on this again real quick. Then we get into your seventh out of your root note. If you've been working on, hopefully you've been working on this already. But now I want you to start putting the pinky in. That's part of this lesson. Let's get that pinky in there. Hear how bad that was? That's because I left the B string, your second string, open. What you want to do is you want to mute that with your ring finger. Then you can put your pinky in. So you've been working on this. I'm just messing around now, but that's what you're working on, is you're working on these minor, the seventh chords. Now let's put that pinky in. Nope, you got to mute it. You can kind of lay your fingers down a little bit if you want. They don't have to come straight in because you want this ring finger here to mute the second string. And then you want to lay that pinky. So if you lay that down slightly, you could still sneak your pinky in front of it. See how I'm not behind it, I'm more in front of it? You can sneak it in that way. So instead of going so straight down, go ahead and lay it down slightly and then sneak that pinky in. That's your full seventh chord. I want you to work on that because I want you to start getting that pinky into everything. Your scales, your 7th chords, your D, your C, your G. That's one we haven't talked about. We did talk about this in the earlier lessons. The cheat for G by just taking the bottom 4 strings. That way you've got this finger open up. When I'm on acoustic guitar by myself, that's a way I get away with doing leads and not using a doubler so I don't have a rhythm behind me. I can keep the G key, right? Well, you can hold your G, and as you get better at your pinky, reach up to your 5th fret of your 1st string. Here it is at a D. G. We're doing that with the Can't You See part. So keep working on all this stuff because it gets your fingers working. And don't forget to keep going back to the blues. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Get a train chugging. And then change it. If you notice, it's the exact same fingering here. Different picking gives it a different vibe. Half speed, right? Same notes here. That didn't slow down or change. It's this hand right here. And hopefully you've been working on this. I haven't touched on my right hand much lately because we've been working on the scales and the chords and stuff, but we were doing. Don't forget about doing this. Keep doing this too. All right, I also want you to go out to my channel and start looking up some of these songs that are a little bit more easier. I want you to look up Tulsa Time. You should be able to do that song with the knowledge you have. Call Me the Breeze. You should be able to do that song with the knowledge you have. Bad Moon Rising. You should be able to do that. I'm going to be adding some more easier songs, and this is also something else that don't forget to work on this. Remember that spider rock that's called Teeny Weeny or Just a Little Bit? That's going up this week. Actually, it already went up. When this video plays, that song will have gone up. So go check that out. Get that under your belt. Keep working on that. That is the best exercise for new players. And if you want, you can change your picking. See how I'm going up and down? Up. Down. Up and down. Keep working on that kind of stuff. That'll help your playing immensely. Hey, so that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this video, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. Check out another video by clicking this link down here. Check out our channel, see all our videos and playlists. Click that link over there. Thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.